Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to set up Metasploitable2, how to do a scan for vulnerabilities on it, and how to exploit it. And so first thing you're going to want to do is you want to have a Kali box as your host machine, so we can have Metasploit on it. It comes default with Kali Linux 2019, which is what I'm using. And then basically what you want to do is once you download the files, you open a virtual machine and then click on the VMX item right here, and then you click open and then start it up. The default should be root and Tor. And then what you're going to want to do is download Metasploitable2, that's what I'm using, and you're going to do the same thing, open it up, and you want to make sure that they're on the same network so that you can access them from each other. And so first thing you're going to want to do is to make sure you can. So on Metasploitable2, my IP is 192.168.1.83, so I'm going to ping that. And I can connect to it, which is a good sign. So we're going to want to open up MSF console, and we want to do that with root privileges, so we're going to use sudo. And you might have to type in a password. So now we're going to run a quick nmap scan on our Metasploitable just to see what's running on it, the versions, and what port number. So what we have is an nmap scan, looking at the versions, the services, and the versions of the services, and then we also have, it's going to show the ports that they're running on, and then this is our target IP right here. So the scan should only take about a minute. So my scan isn't finishing, it's obviously stuck on the last 10%. You can just interrupt it and then do services to look at all the ones it got. And here we are. So this is all the services running on that one host. So we can look closely into some of these. In particular, we're going to look at port 21. It has VSFTP on it, and we're also going to look at port 1524, which is right here. It's a bind shell, Metasploitable root shell, so that sounds interesting. So that's definitely something we want to look at. And then port 3306, which is MySQL. And so those are the three that we're going to look at. You can go ahead and look at any of the ones you want to and try to exploit them. So first, we're going to start with port 21. You can either use Google to find an exploit, or you can search using MSF console. So we're going to do a quick search, and it's VSFTPD. And so there's one exploit, so we're going to use that exploit. I think we can use 0. Yeah, so instead of typing out like use exploit Unix, you can just do the number, which is a lot easier. And now if we use info, we can see that there's a few things we have to set. The port and the hosts. So the port is already set to 21, but there's no host set for the exploit. So we're gonna do a quick set our host to our target's IP. And now the host is set, and we can run the exploit. So what we can also look at is bind shell, MSF console, root shell. And with a quick Google, you can find that we need to use telnet, which is what the root shell is, and we just telnet into the IP on that port. So it's 1524. And we now are inside of our system. We can do an IP adder, we can do AMI, and basically basically, so we have root privileges and we are on our Metasploitable, so we can start exploiting it if we wanted to. But we're going to exit out of that for now. So one more that we can look at is MySQL 3306. So for that, we're going to do search MySQL 5.0.5.1. So that's the version of the MySQL that we're looking at. As you can see, there's a lot of exploits here. And some of them work, some of them don't. You just kind of got to go for one that looks good. And so the one I went with was MySQL scanner, MySQL login, I believe. Yeah. So that one's 11, so we're going to use 11. Then with that, we're going to set all the info. So we're going to set our host to 192.168 to 83. We're going to set our port. So the port's 3306. Then we're going to set the username. Set username as root. Because that's what we assume the default username is going to be. If we wanted to, we could have a user file, so it would parse through and try to test all of the users with all the passwords, but we're just going to go with this for now. And then we're going to say user as pass true, and that's just going to test the password to be what the username is. And then we're also going to set blank passwords to be true, which means it's going to test with no password, which might work. And then we're just going to run it. And so success with root. So root with no password is the successful way to get in. So now with that, we can do a MySQL into it. So MySQL 192.168.1.83, and then the user is going to be root, and there is no password, so it's just going to let us in. So now we're in the MySQL database. I think, yeah, let's go back. We'll go back and use telnet. So now we're in with telnet. So what we're going to do is, you can, if you want to, you can add your user. You can add whatever your username is and set a password, and then you can make the privileges admin for your user. But what we want to do is we want to find user credentials, so the users that are already on the box. And to do that, we're going to want to cat password. Now, what we can do with this is we can copy and paste it first of all. So all of this to right here. We're going to copy selection, and then we're going to make, I already have the files, but I believe it's in /root/desktop. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have users shadow on shadow. So basically, you can copy and paste all of this stuff into a file. So this is all the users, all the user information. Now I don't know, does it include my privilege? Yeah, so it will have the users that I created. So I created an admin user and a non-admin user. So we can do that, and then we can also do the same thing for the shadow. So cat etc shadow, and that will bring out all the shadows. And with that, you can copy and paste all those into another file. You can call it shadow and users, whatever you want to call it. And so now we're going to get into using these files. Obviously you can't see the clear text passwords for all these users, so we're going to change that by using John the Ripper. So it should already be installed on Kali. So we're going to go into exit again, and now we're going to unshadow root desktop, or I guess I can do home, then desktop, and we're going to do the users, and then we're also going to do home, then desktop, and we got the shadow file. And then what we want to do is we want to put this into a file. We can call it unshadow .db. Don't forget to sudo it. Yeah, it probably didn't put it in the right directory. So we can run that. There we go. Okay. So we can trash this. So this is the one we just created. Basically, we just combine the two files and it unshadows them. And now we're gonna have all of the information we need. So basically, it will put the username with the hash passwords right here. Passwords hashed. Where else? MSF admin. Yeah, the password's hashed. And so basically what we have to do is we need to basically decrypt them. And doing that, we need to use John the Ripper. So we can do sudo John show, and then home, then desktop, and it's unshadow.db. And there we go. So now it just cracked a bunch of users. So we have sys, Batman, klog, MSF admin, Postgres, user, service. And so now we have the credentials for those. So thanks for watching. My next one is going to be on Bad Store, and then the one after that is going to be on DVWA. So thanks for watching. Bye bye now.